versions of the budget. It's what I call the bad, the really bad, and the really ugly. So budget A, when you look on the website, and I think we have some summaries of that. Sue Piper has the summaries, and we're going to be distributing those. Budget A assumes that either the council doesn't allow us to put a parcel tax on the ballot, or we lose the parcel tax, and that's an $80 a year, a quarter a day parcel tax for 5 years. Now, why? Whose contracts are actually closed, but they've reopened them. You may have heard today San Jose police officers took a 10% cut. I'm really hopeful that we're, maybe not that much, but I'm really hopeful that we are going to have a budget where everyone sacrifices equally, where we step up as citizens, where our employees give back. But in addition to that, Mr. Yule and I have put out a budget that's reorganized the city, that has decreased number of departments and flattened the organization somewhat. And we've also done some other things jointly with agencies that we hope will eventually save funds. So for instance, we are having the Open Housing Authority take over we're going to close 2 of our rec centers, and they're going to be operated shut down and leased out and operated by another agency. You're going to see in senior programs, because the senior programs have been so hard hit, that we're going to co-locate a lot of senior programs, and hopefully together we can provide full-day programs for seniors, particularly in the poorest neighborhoods, so that everybody continues to have 5 days of services. And even under the worst scenario, the senior centers will be open for lunch every day. Even if we don't have full programs, at least people will be able to get their lunch. The second scenario is one where, again, either the parcel tax is not placed on the ballot by the council, or we lose, but employees make some contributions. That's still a pretty painful. And so let me talk about the really ugly. The really ugly would be so bad that we couldn't even make the minimum match for the library. Measure Q. And Hector had kids that I'd probably rather be run over by a truck than close a library, and she's right. I very reluctantly put there, but should that scenario happen, we would have only 4 libraries left in the city. So that's how bad that scenario is. We would close 4 firehouses. We would close 6 park and rec centers. That's how little reserves we have left, what we would have to do if we didn't get additional funding and went with just an all cuts budget. So version B is a little in between that, and with version C, that is, we get employee contributions and we pass a parcel tax, we'll still probably cut 80 positions in the city, but none of the more draconian things will happen. We'll do a lot of belt tightening, we'll still reduce departments, we will still merge some services, but we won't have elimination of tree services in some parks. We won't have that kind of draconian closing. We will still pass over to rec centers, to other agencies. We will not really options, those are scenarios, because I can't tell. I can't by myself say that this is going to happen or this is going to happen. Part of it will be your decision as citizens, part of it will be the city council's decision. But I ask you all to look at those options, to come to the hearings and the town hall meetings that we'll have throughout the month of May and June. And if you can't come but you want to give us feedback, we've set up this email address, budgetsuggestions@oaklandnet.com. So if that the superintendent of the schools and I've been talking a lot about the needs of the kids, and early this year he came out with a study. We've been meeting jointly. His head staff, our cabinet, have been talking about what we can do together even though we don't have new resources. And one of the things that he pointed out is that he did a study of the children who have been either hurt or murdered in the last decade, who are school-age kids in the city. And when you look at the data, he saw that over 80% of them were either hurt or murdered on a Friday or Saturday night. And we're not sure, this is certainly not a solution, but it's a first step. So together, the school district, the city, and nonprofits and other groups are coming together now that the weather's getting warm to start opening up facilities up till midnight on Friday and Saturday night so that there's safe places in this community for young people to be. To make a difference for young people in the city. And I have to say this, if any of you have jobs this summer, we're starting to collect, we're asking companies to stretch out. I'm going to use what remaining money I have for internships and bring in high school students from the tougher neighborhoods into the city to work this summer. We need to really pull together during these tough times for our young people. So with that,